wrongdoing. Stay away from all those things that are wrong. So that's what we look at. How are the rituals, and these are rituals, Salah is a ritual. How are the ritualistic things that we do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? We come to Jummah once a week. We come to Salat al-Eid twice a year. How are these things? We fast once a year in Ramadan from 29 to 30 days. How are these things keeping us away from doing wrong? If year after year after year, we're making salah, we're fasting Ramadan, we're praying the Salat al-Eid, we're coming to Jummah once a week, and our behavior hasn't changed, then something is wrong. Because all these things that we do on a regular basis is really supposed to change us. And change us for the better. We are supposed to become better people by doing these things. We are actually supposed to become better. You know, I had a professor in college who told me that if you study literature, and I've yet to prove it, but this was his idea. He says if you study literature, it actually makes you smarter. This was his thoughts, that studying literature makes you smarter. Again, I haven't been able to prove it, but this was his thoughts. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this about our rituals. Salah, fasting, these things actually are supposed to make us better. And if it is not making us better, then we are to reevaluate our actions. We have to reevaluate our approach to these things. That this is very important. The Quran invites us to everything that is good. The Quran invites to anything that is good. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, ittaqillah wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. O you who believe, believers, have taqwa of Allah, and be of those who are truthful. Again, if we are in a habit of not telling full truths, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us to have taqwa of Allah and be one of those people who always say the truth. This is having good character. This is to have good character. You see, this is to have good character. And I know sometimes if you don't say the full truth, you may be able to get yourself out of a situation here or get yourself out of a situation there. And you may be safe from the person that you told that untruth to, but not so with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And who is more important? Who is more important? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, believers, have taqwa of Allah and be of those who are truthful. This is just one part of having good character. Because the truth is, you cannot claim to be a believer and you don't speak the truth. You can't claim to be someone who believes in Allah and His Prophet and you have a tendency to not speak the truth. It doesn't go together. You see, it doesn't go together. One has to give. And again, if you are a believer, it means that you are performing all those ritualistic things. You're making salah, you're fasting, you're giving sadaqah every now and again. Hopefully we pay the zakah. And so these actions, these things are supposed to change our behavior for the better. They're supposed to absolutely change our behavior for the better. The Quran tells us, my brothers and sisters in Islam, that certain behaviors are not befitting of a Muslim. Certain behaviors are not befitting of a Muslim. And this is a fact. You see, there are just some things that Muslims are just not supposed to do, period. Regardless. It doesn't matter the circumstances, it doesn't matter the situation. There's some actions, some things are just not befitting of a Muslim. And one of those things, the Prophet ﷺ says, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Whoever has, the Prophet ﷺ says, whoever has an atom's weight of kibr, of arrogance, will not enter Jannah. Whoever has an atom's weight, a very small amount, I mean, and the scientist in here knows, the weight of an atom is very, very minuscule, very, very small. Whoever has an atom's weight of kibr, of arrogance, will not enter Jannah. You see, this action, this behavior, this way of being is not befitting of a Muslim. It's not befitting of a believer. You can't be, well, I'm a believer, but I am arrogant. They don't go together. You see, they don't go together. Humility and humbleness does. And this is what we'd like to talk about a little bit today. There's another hadith that we sometimes always mention, and sometimes we repeat it ourselves, that, in the interest of time, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't look at your physical appearance, rather He looks at our hearts. He looks at our hearts. Right? He doesn't look at your physical appearance, whether you're wearing Michael Kors or whatever, Ralph Lauren, or you have a long jeans watch. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things that have no meaning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But He looks at your heart. He looks at your heart, how good of a person you are. You see, how good of a person you are. But the question, my brothers and sisters, is our hearts worthy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's gaze? Do you think our hearts are such that, Allah looks into it, what does He see? I mean, this is a rhetorical question. A rhetorical question for us to think about it ourselves. We all know our hearts individually. So the question is our hearts ready? Do you think our hearts are such that if Allah, not if, but when Allah looks into our hearts, He finds good thoughts, good deeds, good feelings, good behavior? You see, if you are a person who carries around envy and hatred and spite and arrogance, then it's not ready. You see, then it's not ready. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not consider what you look like, my brothers and sisters in Islam, but He will look at your heart. Right? Why? This is why the Quran, of course, speaks a lot about purifying the heart, because almost everything is controlled or comes from the human heart. Our emotions, it comes from the human heart. And certain things, of course, do not belong in the heart. When we look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ, we see that he was a true example of humility. He was a true example of humility. Even his enemies liked him. They were his enemies, but they said, we can't find anything wrong with this man other than the fact that he is bringing to us a religion that we're just not familiar with. And we don't want it. So therefore, on that basis, we're opposing him. But as far as his character, no one ever had anything bad to say about his character. You see, because this is who he was. He was humble. He was fair. He was truthful. You see, this was the character of that. If we claim to believe in Muhammad and to follow his sunnah, this is the best sunnah. The sunnah is not about what you look like, what you wear. The sunnah is to behave like he behaved. The sunnah is to think like he thought. This is sunnah. This is part of his sunnah. You see, and this is what we should follow. And Allahu Akbar, the life of no other person in history has been documented and detailed more than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if we need to find out something about his life, there's literature somewhere that we can find it. There's nothing omitted from his life, even his personal life. His wife, many of his wives reported how he behaved in the home. And we'll just mention a couple of those things. You see, it is said, my brothers and sisters, that it is easy to be humble when you are brought low. It's easy to be humble when you are ridiculed. It's easy to be humble when you are humiliated. But to be humble when you are praised is a true sign of humility. To be humble when someone praises you for doing this or for being so and so, that is a true sign of humility. The story of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of his companions, they were on a journey and they camped for the night. And one of the companions said, I will slaughter an animal so we can eat. And the other said they all were trying to participate in the action. The other said, okay, I'm going to skin the animal. And the other said, I'm going to cut up the meat. And the Prophet ﷺ volunteered for gathering the firewood, gathering the sticks, the firewood. He volunteered to do that part. Everyone else was doing something. He volunteered to go gather up the firewood and for the fire. And one of the companions said to him, you don't have to do this. You are the Prophet of Allah. You are the Prophet of Allah. You don't have to, we got it. You don't have to do this, right? And the Prophet ﷺ says to him, I don't like to be distinguished, right, among my companions. In other words, the idea wasn't to do one of the jobs just to stand out, just to show off. The idea was to participate, you see. He says, I don't like to be distinguished among my companions, right? What is beautiful about this hadith, my brothers and sisters in Islam, is that the Prophet ﷺ chose to do what would probably be the most insignificant task. The thing that probably, the most insignificant task. I mean, killing the animal, if you don't know how to do it, it requires some skill. For those of you who have killed an animal before, skinning it requires some skill. Cutting it up requires some skill. These are all things that require skill. Gathering firewood doesn't require any skill. It don't require anything. You go pick up some dry sticks and bring it back. It doesn't require any skill at all. You see. And the Prophet ﷺ volunteered to do this because, the truth is he just wanted to participate and be like everyone else. You see. No one remembers, because even today, no one remembers how the food is being cooked. But we do remember what it tastes like, what it looked like, you see. The idea was to participate and not to get praise. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه. والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. Again, the Prophet ﷺ participation wasn't about getting recognized, but it was about just participating and being humble in that. Once the Prophet ﷺ was sitting with some of his companions, and a man walked by, and he asked his companions, "What do you think about this guy?" Just to get their opinion. Pretty much like what we would do today. What do you think about so-and-so? Just to kind of assess the person's character, right? And the companions said to him, this man, he comes from a poor family. Pretty much like what we would say today, because for us, many a times, we tend to regard people based on how much money we think they have. And if they don't have anything, we tend to push them aside. We do this, consciously or unconsciously, we do it. So when he was asked, he asked the companions, what do you think about this guy? The companions said to him, this guy comes from a poor family, right? They're not known to have any wealth. They're not known to be among the elite, the people that, what we call today the movers and shakers in the society. His family is not known to be among those people. They don't control anything. They don't own any property. They don't have any money. If he offers any suggestion, don't take his suggestion. What is he going to offer to us? He's poor, right? And the Prophet ﷺ stayed quiet. And in a few minutes later, another man passed by. Right? This was the Prophet ﷺ. Another man passed by, and he asked them the same question. Yeah, what do you think about this guy? And they said, oh, okay, this guy, he comes from a good family. He comes from a good family. His family is known, in the society. They're known to have wealth, right? They're known to, which again, we do this. We pride ourselves in our lineage and the families in which we come from. He is very rich was one of their answers. And if he ever makes a proposal, if he ever makes a suggestion for what we should do, take his suggestion, take his proposal. And the Prophet ﷺ said, and again in the interest of time, لَوَحِدٌ مِّن ذَاكَ لَخَيْرٌ مِّن لِلْعَرْضِ لِهَذَا. One type of the first person that passed by, he says, is better than a whole earth filled with the second type. Allahu Akbar. He says one person of the first guy that passed by that you said was poor, he says it's better than the whole earth filled with the second type that you said we should take their suggestions. Again, the Prophet ﷺ wasn't concerned with what these people had. He was concerned about their character. And sometimes we tend to equate wealth and status with good character. And it don't work that way, not necessarily. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. We also see that the Prophet ﷺ would not only display good character in public, but he would also display good character in the privacy of his home. In the privacy of his home. And this is where it counts. Where no one is watching you, where no one can see you, your doors are closed, your window is closed, and you are in the privacy of your home with your family. This is where displaying good character counts more than anything else. You see, not what we know you as when you come out of your home and we see you on the streets in your business. It is how you behave when you are at home. That's what's most important, right? Some of us, again, we have good public behavior, right? Sometimes it makes us look good. It makes people think certain things of us. This person, this brother, this sister, they're okay. Because we only know of you what we see of you outside of your home, you see. But sometimes we are very different in our homes. And the Prophet ﷺ knows this about human beings. We know he was unlettered. He couldn't read or write, but he had a very, very deep human instinct. He could read people. He knew these things about people. And in that regards, he ﷺ said, he says, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِ. He says, the best of you is the one who is best with their families. This is the best of you. It doesn't say the best of you is the one who has the most money. It doesn't say the best of you is the one who dressed the best. It doesn't, none of this. It says the best of you is the one who is best with their families. That is the key. This is not something, humility is not something that you show off with, that you display. The best of us is those of us who are best with our families. It's that simple. So again, these are rhetorical statements and questions. It's for us to think, how am I with my family? Really and truly, how am I with my family? I mean, does my family get the same cheerful personality, the same behavior that I display with my friends when I'm outside the home? Does my family get that? And if the answer is anything other than yes, then we have to reevaluate our behavior with our family. As the Prophet ﷺ says, the best of you, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِ. The best of you is the one who is best with their families. And only you know, my brothers and sisters in Islam, only you know how you are with your family. You know that, not us. So this is meant for us to think, to reflect. How am I with my family? Right? Aisha radiallahu anha, she says she was asked about the character, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and she says, كان إذا دخل داره بساما وكان في خدمة أهله. Aisha radiallahu anha said, when he entered his home, he entered smiling with a cheerful face. He entered and he used to and he would be of service to his family. He was always performing some type of service for his family. This was the Prophet ﷺ. None of us are better than he was. None of us are better than he was. You see. And this, so if he did this with his family, we believe in him, we love him, we obey him, we pick up some of the same behaviors as the Prophet ﷺ said. You know. And the last thing, my brothers and sisters in Islam, the best example that I could find in preparing this, you know, and it's something that I've probably mentioned before, the best example that I could find of humility, of real, genuine humility, humbleness, is when it was detailed about the Prophet ﷺ when he retook Mecca. He, you know, after being away from Medina for so many years, and he marched back into Mecca, the Muslim army then had grown, and they were strong enough to retake Mecca from the Quraysh, from the ruling party at the time. And they marched into Mecca, many thousands strong, without shedding hardly any blood. Some of the companions said, and this hadith sahih, some of the companions said, because they had all right, al-yawm yawm al-malhama, today is the day of slaughter. Of all the things that they have done for us, to us, over the years, now it's our chance to get back at them. And they had all right, all legal right. It says today is the day of retribution, today is the day of slaughter. We are going to get back at you now. We have the upper hand. We are going to do to you what you did to us. This is what it means. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. He says, Kalla. He says, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Having the right to do it. He says, Kalla. Al-yawm yawm al-marhama. Allahu Akbar. He says, today is a day of mercy. Now, what better example of humility can we find than this action? Having the right, having the power to be able to exact retribution from those who persecuted them for all those years. And he said, no, today is a day of mercy. We are going to show mercy to them. That is true humility. And it's not about what they look like, but that is part of his character. And that is who we should emulate, my brothers and sisters in Islam. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala an-nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله وذكر الله أكبر وأقيموا الصلاة. الله أكبر.